There'll be food and drink and ghosts, and perhaps even a few murders. You're all invited.
When we first went in, one of the people said, "Who are you?" And Tex said, "I'm the devil, and I'm here to do the devil's business."
Hi, it's us again.
Again.
And again.
Can't get rid of us.
I know.
Yeah. How'd you
You're going to
feel?
get so much of us because you haven't gotten enough of us in the last year.
I
So
know.
now you're going to have so much.
Absolutely. And Jen and I are going to stay true to our authentic selves, just like Mark is. We are in the same outfits.
And Mark is
Mark
wearing...
is not in the same.
No.
Yep.
I'm wearing a very 80s new wave.
I love it.
And
I don't care if it's winter. I will still wear hot pink and turquoise.
You should.
Yes.
I don't believe that shit where it's like, don't wear white after Labor Day. Like, wear whatever the fuck you want.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like, who gives a shit?
Nope. I don't care.
Like, what if you look really great in white?
Yeah.
You're not going to wear it because of some stupid rule that somebody made up?
And technically, any day before or after Labor Day is after Labor Day.
True.
That is true. I never even thought about it like that.
Right?
Yeah.
That is a very good point. So fuck it.
Yeah.
Don't listen to that.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I really don't have a segue into my question.
This is our segue.
So, my question has nothing to do with Labor Day or clothing
Okay.
or anything.
Totally
but,
doesn't have to.
We're all homeowners.
Yes.
And we've all gone through the buying process of purchasing a home. So my question is, what is something you would not want to find wrong with your home immediately after you purchased it?
Oh, I would say probably something like it's built on top of like toxic waste or something.
Yeah.
Like I remember I heard this story about well, oh God, what was it called? The oh shit.
Is it the Radium Girls?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
The Radium
There's
Girls.
a movie, there's a play.
Yeah, where they dumped like a bunch of shit. Actually, not far from where we are right now. And like somebody did buy a house and they didn't know, and like that to me would be fucking crazy.
I think for me, it would be like anything that is an expensive fix. So anything that's HVAC related
Yeah.
or plumbing related.
True.
That
Oil tanks.
And it's like, because you spend so much money, like moving with the down payment, the realtor fees,
Right.
there's like a lawyer fee. There's just like, you're pouring money out.
It's a fee.
Yeah, you're like sinking out like tens and thousands of dollars.
And they're
for
like,
these
oh,
fees.
by
Yeah.
the way, it's an extra $10,000 at your closing that you weren't expecting.
I think for me, like I've watched too many episodes of Worst Roommate Ever.
Great show.
I think my fear would be like discovering that somebody is still living in the house.
Oh no! Yeah, oh God, Danny LaPlante.
Yeah.
Oh
Like that's my fear.
hell yeah!
Like a squatter. Or
Like a squatter,
Yeah.
exactly.
yeah. No, that's frightening.
Yeah.
for sure. Because you don't know
No, you don't.
what they're if they're just staying there because like they literally are just like have like that's what they chose to do because like I don't know.
But for this couple or couples, they unfortunately had some really unfortunate events happen.
Oh boy.
So in 1982, there was a couple named Sam and Judith Haney, and they purchased a house in Houston, Texas area. I think the area was called Newport. It was like a suburb of Houston.
Okay.
So they were living there, and about a year of living in their home, Sam and Judith decided that they wanted a swimming pool in their backyard, which like any homeowner who lives in a nice area and has a big backyard, of course, maybe you want to put a pool in. Okay.
Why not?
So while this is happening, this older man shows up on their door and states that human remains are about to be dug up.
cool.
Oh.
Nice.
And why did he know this?
Oh, boy.
Well, because
Why?
he buried them years ago
No. Shut up. What?
Damn.
Oh.
when the land was still a cemetery,
Oh shit.
which they did not know.
Oh.
Okay.
Noted.
Oh my
So
God.
there was a cemetery on this big property. So it was this huge property that now tons of homes are built on. And the cemetery was called Black Hope Cemetery.
Okay.
It was an old 19th century African American burial ground where slaves were buried.
Oh my God.
The last burial was in 1939, and as many as 60 people were buried there. And as I said, the land has been covered up since by housing in the Newport, Texas area.
And that is so sad.
It is very sad.
That's terrible.
I mean,
that breaks my heart.
I know. And it is a thing that does happen, but yes, it's very sad.
So the man comes into their backyard and shows the couple exactly where the bodies were buried on the property.
Oh boy.
And Sam later proceeds to dig and comes upon two skeletons in the exact location shown by this man.
Damn.
There were two pine boxes, each with an indentation of skeleton, like a skeletal form. So he immediately called the sheriff and the county coroner, who they conducted an official examination. But most of the bones had turned into powder because it was so old. That's why there was an indentation in the box. But 25 fragments were found, and some were so brittle that they disintegrated when you touched them.
Oh my God.
But two wedding rings were discovered on the exposed skeleton's fingers. So they all decide, let's try to determine the skeleton's identities. So they start to do some local research, and they reveal that the skeletons were of Charlie and Betty Thomas. They had been born into slavery and freed during the Civil War.
Okay.
They died during the 1930s and plagued by, they felt really guilty that they dug up these remains. So Sam and Judith decide that they're going to rebury them.
Okay.
I was about to say no pool.
Yeah.
But-
Nope.
I don't think so.
It's gonna be a
That-
haunted pool.
I do not think that's a good idea.
That is when some weird shit started to happen.
Oh boy.
Poltergeist realness.
I mean,
Yes.
this is
Exactly. So there's one night, Judith discovered that her clock was glowing and sparking. And she went to go check the clock and discovered that it was unplugged.
no.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, that always gets me.
Oh my God.
That always creeps me out. When,
yeah. When something is
Like
should be
electrical
powered
things.
by electricity.
Yeah, when they're unplugged and doing that
Doing
ghost
weird
shit. That
shit.
always creeps me out.
I know.
That gets me.
There was another night. I don't know what Sam did for a living, but he worked late nights and she was alone at home. She heard the glass door downstairs, I guess their backyard door, open, and she heard a voice say, "What are you doing?" She assumed it was Sam coming home late from work, but when she went down to check, there was absolutely nobody there.
Oh boy. Mm-hmm. Oh no.
So I believe it was the next morning. Judith goes to get a pair of her red shoes from her closet and she couldn't find them. So her and Sam, they're looking around the house. They couldn't find them. The shoes turned up over Charlie and Betty's graves.
No. Oh God. What were they doing?
Just wow.
But
Just-
later on, they came to learn that that particular day was Betty's birthday. So
creepy.
they were thinking maybe was Charlie giving his wife a gift?
Oh, that's sweet.
Right?
Hopefully they were like Christian Louboutins.
Yeah, ghost Louboutin.
Ghost batons.
Ghost baton.
But they were not the only couple in the neighborhood who was experiencing some weird shit.
Oh, I love this.
yeah.
So
I'm living.
a dozen neighbors, they've reported lights and televisions and faucets turning on and off on their own with zero explanation.
Shouldn't have built them houses on that
Yeah.
gravesite. Carol Ann.
So Carol Ann, poltergeist.
Tangina's got work to do
Oh my
again.
God.
Tangi's back in business.
So another couple, Ben and Jean Williams, they moved into the neighborhood around the same time as the Haneys. Jean noticed that her plants kept dying. And then They reported that there was this shape of a coffin near the flower bed in their backyard that would appear. And then they would continue to fill them in.
Which was just an actual coffin. No,
And
I'm
just days later, the shape would reappear.
Oh
Ooh.
boy.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah.
This is macabre.
It is. Macabre.
They also noticed there was strange markings on the tree near these shapes, and an arrow pointing like down toward, I guess, what was a grave.
Oh, how quaint.
And a longtime resident told them that he was the one that marked the tree.
Okay.
And said that he had done so because his 2 sisters were buried beneath that tree.
Oh, wow. Don't go crazy in that area.
So
My sisters are there.
Just because I'm a little confused. So the 2 sisters that were buried there, were they slaves or were they just
I'm
separate?
assuming
Okay.
so.
Yeah.
Because it was a slave burial ground.
Yeah,
that's
So
right.
I would assume
Yeah.
it doesn't
Or maybe it,
indicate.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or they could have been like people of color too.
Right.
But yeah, got it.
So Ben and Jean, they begin experiencing some weird supernatural shit.
Nice.
They would say that there was like random shadows along the walls, and they would like hear whispers, and they would smell these weird smells. And they also had a granddaughter, Carly, who lived with them. And one summer during a heat wave, she said that she felt this like bone chilling, like cold air in the house.
Oh boy.
And like as I quote, it would be very, very chilly, and you'd have this feeling of foreboding, or just, like something wasn't right. Anywhere in the house, you'd have a feeling that you were not alone. Somebody was watching you. It terrified me to be in the house by myself.
And that feeling, I can say, like, I've had that feeling before. And I feel like I don't know about a lot of people, but I mean, I have had that feeling before, and it is fucking freaky.
Oh,
Some
yeah.
freaky shit.
You feel like somebody else is present, even though
Yeah.
you're the only person in the house. Like, I've had that feeling before.
Yeah.
Especially if it's like an older house, and then there's like weird sounds.
Yeah.
And,
I-
especially when you're by yourself and you're like, what the fuck is that?
Well, I would think
Yeah.
it's weird when someone is looking at you
Mm-hmm.
because you can feel their eyes.
Yeah.
And even if it's just like a normal person, like it's something where like it weirds me out. I can always sense if someone's like looking at me from
Yeah.
behind.
Yeah.
'Cause I have a
definitely
great ass.
feel it.
So
Of
everyone-
course.
Yes, for sure.
That's why people are looking.
Absolutely.
But the granddaughter, Carly, she also said that like the toilets used to flush on their own.
Well, that's courteous. And I also like the fact that the ghost, you said it was a very, hot heat wave, and they gave cold chills. So it's like free air conditioning.
It's like free air conditioning.
I think these are very friendly ghosts.
Consider it.
But she also said that like when the water would go down, like when the toilet would flush on its own, like she described the sounds. It sounded like people were having conversations.
Oh, Pennywise.
It was like people were like kind of like murmuring to themselves.
Oh, that's creepy.
And it was kind of like there was like a presence of a spirit there. Like somebody wanted to be heard. I don't know.
Wow. I don't know. But I'd be very scared if I heard what sounded like voices coming out of the toilet.
Right? It's
Anywhere.
just no.
Yeah. No, I don't like it.
And the acoustics are very chilling
Yeah.
too, if you think about it.
Yeah.
But Jean, the wife, she also recalled an incident where her and her granddaughter Carly were both trying to take a nap. And they heard the sound of the back door opening and closing. And then they heard sounds of footsteps walking toward them, but no one was there.
Ugh. I don't like it.
And Jean said at one point, I absolutely believe that all of these things happened to us because we were in the graveyard and that we were simply going to be tormented until we left there.
Well, it's possibility.
She actually wanted to like leave and move, but her husband Ben felt that they had to stay and like fight through it. Mm-hmm. And like he was another one that worked late nights, and he saw 2 ghost figures in the house. And they went straight into like their den and headed down the hall to the bedroom. And when he entered the bedroom, his wife Jean was asleep, and one of them was standing over her. And like he was scared for her safety, and he jumped on the bed, and like the like figure vanished.
Oh damn! No
Chills.
Yeah, that's some freaky shit.
Right?
Yeah, and especially too because so many people like in this neighborhood, like I feel like if one person says stuff like about strange happenings, you're kind of like, I mean, yeah, maybe could be, but like when there's like multiple people who are all like confirming these different odd occurrences, it really makes you wonder.
It does.
Yeah.
I mean, like, we didn't have Ring cameras back then, but like now, like, if everybody in the neighborhood has a Ring camera, you can all like post on like a local forum.
I love the screenshots that you send me from yours.
Yeah, there's some really interesting ones, but it'll be like, but you know
good.
what? It's also good too, because like if there's like a theft or, you know, a fucking porch pirate, as they call them, or package
or even if it's like, you know, the type of thing where you're like, oh, like some strange characters lurking around who like don't look
it's
familiar.
good to like give people a heads up, especially like in your area. I mean, when I used to live up here, it would be like, did anybody hear those gunshots?
Well, you know, North Jersey, it's like Essex County got a little bit of everything. America. Pew pew.
But I mean, like, it was kind of like, you know, I'm sure back then it was like people would talk, neighbors would talk, and like it got around like by word of mouth. But their problems, Ben and Jean's problems, they were far from over. Within months, 6 of their close relatives were diagnosed with cancer.
Oh my God.
And 3 of them died.
Oh shit.
They believed that the illnesses were caused by the spirits in their house. And Sam and Judith, the other couple, decided to sue the developers for not disclosing that their house was built over a cemetery.
Yeah.
I feel like, and like, I don't really know, but like legally, are they supposed to like...
I think for
that?
stuff like that,
It varies from state to state.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I know.
yeah, because like something funny, I mean, and I'll just say this like random thing quickly, but like when we bought this place, I remember that the seller kept being like, oh, and I'm adding this, like, and it would be something like snaked the shower drain twice, like, or like these like weird things, like, so that way it's not like, oh, you didn't tell us that the shower gets clogged.
Exactly.
You know, like, so I think like Mark said, it's like state to state, I guess.
Yeah.
Like died in house or whatever. Like, I don't know. I think it's different, like what they have to disclose and not. But like I know that one house, like I was talking about with the radium girls. Like the people who bought that house ended up like suing a bunch of people, and they won money from everyone they sued that undisclosed.
Well, this couple, this couple, Sam and Judith, they were awarded $143,000.
Ooh, that's good money.
Yeah.
For like mental anguish.
Especially for the 80s.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Totally.
But unfortunately, the judge ruled that the developer was not responsible.
How?
And the verdict was thrown out, and Sam and Judith were ordered to pay over $50,000 in court costs.
Oh, that's such
fucked
bullshit.
And like, and then they had to like file for bankruptcy, which fucking sucks.
That's terrible.
You know?
Yeah. I don't see how the developer could not be held responsible for that.
But
Like
again, I feel like it's like that's something like you should know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
I would like to know.
I would want to know that shit.
Yeah, for sure. And then let the person make the decision, right? If they want to. Because, you know.
Yeah.
Jerry works in the pool industry. What if you guys want a pool?
Exactly.
And then you discover that shit. Mm-hmm. But that's not a cool discovery to be surprised with.
Fuck no. Nope.
Hello.
But Ben and Jean, they also followed up with legal action. But the developers wanted proof that the cemetery had even existed.
Oh.
So Jean started digging up in her backyard for the remains to like prove like, hey, there was a cemetery.
And that's pretty badass of her to do that.
Yeah.
To like be like, okay, you want proof? I'm gonna go in my backyard and I'm gonna dig up some dead bodies and show you.
But this is where it gets a little fucked up. So
boy.
as she's digging, she's like, I'm not feeling well. So her daughter, Tina, is like, okay, I'll finish the job. So after about a half hour of her daughter, Tina, doing like digging up, she started to feel dizzy. And she went to go lay on the couch, but like she started to feel worse. So they called 911. She was rushed to the hospital, and the daughter had a massive heart attack and died 2 days
God.
later.
Oh, there's got to be something in that dirt.
Yeah,
There's got to be
chemicals.
some bullshittery.
Yeah.
And she was only 30 years old.
That's terrible.
And Ben and Jean believe that her death was caused by the supernatural forces.
See, that's where you lose me. I'm more inclined to believe like odd occurrences, but like when it comes to that stuff, like because of like the digging, I mean, listen, hey, who the hell knows? None of us have all the answers about what goes on in an afterlife or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
But that's a bit strange.
Yeah. I mean, Ben and Jean, they like wound up just packing everything up and moving to Montana. But in their old home, none of the current residents have reported any paranormal activity. And no one to this date has ever been able to explain what happened to either the Williams or the Haneys.
Wow.
So this is like all unsolved.
This is unsolved mysteries.
That's
I
so cool.
love that.
We love a story that has no definitive
Well,
answer.
and it's
my
funny.
God.
Like,
That's my favorite.
So I, am up all the time with a baby throughout the night, and I had Unsolved Mysteries on, and this was one of the episodes that was on Unsolved Mysteries.
I love that.
Yeah, I was like, ooh, this is like really good. And there's like
so
some
good.
episodes of Unsolved Mysteries, I'm like, oh, this is kind of boring. I'm like, I
Yeah.
can't get into it. But
Yeah.
this one like really had me just engaged from start to finish.
Like the ones that are like really good or like really good.
And this one was really good.
No, I love that. That's
But-
wow.
Right?
So Jen, do you think this is a paranormal moment, or do you think there's something like scientifically linked to this?
There has to be something scientifically, because like if you think about it, like people who have lived in this like neighborhood after these occurrences have not reported any sort of activity. So like maybe it was some sort of chemical
Yeah.
for like, but also too, how do you explain like the faucets like turning on and off, and the power turning on and off on its own, and I mean, the
Yeah.
weird noises could just be in your head,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and sometimes like there's been times where like I get flashes of things in front of my eyes when I'm by myself, but sometimes I just think that that's me in my head.
Yeah. You're probably I think I know what you mean. It's like you kind of get like being literally in your thoughts.
Right.
Or
Or like you look at the corner of your eye and you're like, wait, did something just move?
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah, it does.
I know in a lot of these like paranormal cases, a lot of times people come to realize that it's carbon monoxide poisoning.
It could very well be that too.
Yeah, especially with the digging and stuff, and like
Yeah.
who knows, and the like I don't know in the 30s like if like the bodies were embalmed or what chemicals they used, and because that shit goes into the ground,
Right.
It does.
and
Yeah.
if if they have groundwater, who knows where that shit's going into. It's kind of creepy.
And also too,
itself.
you know, Jen, you mentioned that, you know, they were people of color and slaves that were buried there, which means that they probably didn't get a lot of the privileges with different, you know, embalming and funeral treatments. And you did say that they were put in a pine box, which is a cost efficient way to bury someone.
Yeah.
So I do know, like, it's just like 4 pieces of wood put into a box. So there's no protections in there. So when the body leaks out, it's going to seep through that coffin and into the dirt.
Yeah.
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 Definitely.
Yummy dirt. Give me some of that. Yes. Give me a nice heaping spoonful.
So,
Ow.
yeah, that is the story of the Black Hope curse.
Well,
Wow.
I loved it. I think it's fun. What do you guys think? Do you believe in hauntings? I'm haunted.
Slide into our DMs on
Slide
Instagram,
right
on
in.
Facebook.
Yeah, tell us your ghost stories if you have some.
Yeah.
We'd like
I feel
to
like we
hear
all have something.
Absolutely.
for sure. I'm convinced our last place is haunted. I am.
I thought
Yeah.
I saw a UFO once
Yeah.
during the pandemic.
Yeah. Might have
It's
been.
very possible.
Absolutely. Could have been. Who knows? Well, you know, I mean, I guess in the meantime, like, follow us on Instagram.
At Bizarre Buffet.
Yeah. Facebook.
Bizarre Buffet.
Bizarre Buffet.
Absolutely.
YouTube.
Bizarre
BizarreBuffet.com.
Bizarre Buffet.
All of it.
Subscribe to us on
Yeah.
YouTube. It's just a
Yeah.
simple click.
Yeah, help us
Simple
out.
click, share the video.
I lost my job, so I
Yeah.
need help.
And I lost my mind, so I need help.
The job lost me.
And I've just lost my sanity, so
There you go.
I need help.
We all lost something here, but all right. Well, I guess with that being said, I'm Demi Moore from The Substance because of my t-shirt.
I am a poltergeist.
Love it.
And I'm Carol Ann from Poltergeist.
No, he is though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is.
All right.
Yes, Carol Ann.